So I'm going to cancel my high idle and shut my truck off. Okay, I'm going to tell them, I'll take this while I'm talking, reselect, zero it out. I'm going to do a leak test. I'm going to release my brakes. I mean the other one's already in, but you've released both. I would lose 10 to 12 pounds for 1 pound for every brake chamber. I'm going to time this for 1 minute. I can't lose any more than 4 pounds for a combination and 1 pound for a single unit. I point at stuff just to keep my mind focused. I'll sit here, ready, push, click. I'm at about 103. I can't go down any more than 98. So I just sit there and stare at it. So you can describe it as you're actually doing it. It saves time because you are on the timeline with this as well. I'm at 30 seconds, halfway there. So I'll give them a running commentary of what's going on, because this leads to how you drive, because you can't pick and choose what you want to tell them. It's got to be kind of all or nothing, and nothing doesn't work. Usually all is the way to go when it comes to that. 50 seconds, 10 more. Feeling the burn. Ooh. Sometimes I'll do this. I'll jam my knee underneath there. It all depends. And 60 seconds, and we got no air loss. Okay. Now I'm going to check my low buzzer and light. It should come on at a minimum of 60 pounds. So I'm going to shut these lights off. Turn the key on. Let it cycle. Brakes are still released so I don't compound. And see, just tip my toe, just pump it. When I start getting close to the 60, I'll slow down. There, as soon as it comes on, I immediately shut it off because it's annoying. I look at this one's at 68, this one's at 65, so about 67, give or take. So well over 60. Now I'm going to check my parking brakes. So the trailer parking brake button should pop out at a minimum of 20. Tractor parking brake should pop out at a minimum of 7. On newer trucks, this button is going to stay in, but the brakes will still apply. So I just tap my toe. Oh, look at that. If you can do it right, both pop together. Sometimes they do it separately. So both popped at one's 40, one's 38, so about 39 pounds. Way to go. So that saved me a little extra time. Okay, and I'm going to do my compressor test. I'm going to start the truck. I'm going to take it to 1100 RPM right away. And when the primary needle gets to 80, I'm going to idle back between 6 and 800. And when it gets to 85, I'm going to start timing. And when the secondary gauge gets to 100, I'm going to stop timing. And it should take less than 2 minutes. I'm explaining it exactly the way I'd be visualizing it in my head. So turn the key. I'm going to do it exactly the way I talked about it. Start the truck. Okay. Okay. I'm right away going to get on that gas pedal. Take her up to 1100. Here we go. Just like I said, I wasn't going to waste any time. I do what I say. I put myself in the movie type of thing. So I'm going to just see it here. I'll tell them what the gauges are, because I'm looking at the gauges, paying attention to them. Primary's getting close to 60. The buzzer and light is linked to the secondary gauge, because that's what runs your service brakes. The primary tanks release the parking brakes. The secondary side basically runs most of the truck. But like I said, on the dual circuit system, if I lost my secondary air, the primary air would take over and allow me to make one safe stop before all the brakes dynamited. Okay, I'm getting close to 80. Okay, I'm going to idle it back. There we go. There, 700. See, I can steady my foot. As soon as the needle, see, I move my head so I get a good bead on that, and click. I'll move my head to line up with the mark. Because looking from here, I may not be accurate. So 700 RPM, nice and easy. That might be 680, whatever. No, don't have to be specifically 7, as long as it's between 6 and 8. No big deal. First needle will always get to 100 or a little better, and then the secondary, the valve will open, and the secondary needle will start filling up that second tank. And then what happens, they'll get together, and then they move up to the last minute. There, first needle's a little over 100. Second needle now is moving, so I'm going to move my head a little bit here. Just so I'm looking at it. Sometimes you might have to look around the steering wheel a little bit, or even lean your head closer, because you want to be accurate. 700 RPM. Just hits the red. Minute and 16. That's why you want to.
I think I went over the red when I timed it.
Yeah, you have to move and watch it, because that paint mark is a little higher. Okay, so I'm going to do a high-end governor now. I'm just going to rev it right back up to 1100, and the high-end governor should cut out the compressor between 120 and 145. I'm going to roll the window down just so I can take a listen, because it's underneath the cab, and just watching the gauges. Like I said, the whole air test, when smoothly done, takes about 15 to 18 minutes, tops. So really, out of a day, it doesn't really take you much to check out your whole system before you have to go to work. Not a heck of a lot. A lot of guys figure, oh, it's such a deal, I'm going to do it. Don't do it, it's up to them, but the only thing is you get into a problem where it breaks down. You can drive 5 miles and have it just completely pile up on you. Then you're looking at a tow bill. You're looking at this and that. All of a sudden the bill just escalates out of control. Average tow truck cost now has got to be $1,000 minimum. I haven't had one towed in a while, but ooh. And Peterbilt ate the tow bill for this one until dragging it back to their shop. I don't think all the years I ever drove a truck. My truck was only on a tow truck once after they hit me. Okay, governor cut out at 135, so we're good. Now we're going to check the low end governor. That means the governor should tell the compressor to kick in 20 to 25 pounds below max, which according to our sheet, our numbers, should be between 110 and 115, but cannot go any lower than 100. So if it dropped below 100 still hadn't kicked in, then it's defective. So I'm going to release this. I'm going to let it drop. I'm not even going to touch the gas, and I'm not touching the brake. It's at 120, dropping. There we go. Step on the gas. There. Take her back up to 1100. And both of them were almost at 110. Just take it up there. See, I didn't have to touch brake. I fell another point or two, no big deal. But still well over 100. And I'm watching the primary gauge. I don't even look at the secondary, because the primary one's always going to move first. It'll take 20-30 seconds. There we go. I'm looking at the needle in the 100, and she's going past that 0. That means the low end governor told the compressor to start pumping. So I don't have to sit here and wait for this. Apply the brake, high idle. I'm going to get out. By the time I come back, I'll have full pressure to do what I need. Let it do something. I don't need to stare at it. The compressor's doing its job. first thing I do is that. Just don't like the seatbelt is on. Forward flashers. I'm going to check my tractor parking brake since it's the only one that's on. I push it to the floor. 3 seconds. First gear. It's holding. Let's see. Half clutch. I pull the trailer one out. Push the tractor one in. Let it equalize for a second. There we go. The tug test. It's working. I'm going to release my trailer. Foot on the pedal. Gauge has got to be working. This is what I'm looking at. I'm going to check the trailer service brake. So I roll ahead, push the clutch gently to coast, and pull it down. Release it gently, foot back on the pedal. Now I'm going to check the tractor service brake. I let it out, push it halfway to coast, gently touch the pedal. Everything works. Neutral, foot off the clutch, see, foot off the brake, high idle, and I'm done. That's your test.